Hi everyone, welcome back to the RHA video channel. Today we're going to talk a little bit about training. We've all been there, we shoot hundreds if not thousands of arrows hunting that perfect form. We've all been there when the frustrations crept in, when it doesn't go well, the degrading performances, maybe even target panic. We've been there, it can be a frustrating sport to be part of. I want to talk today about a different aspect that you can introduce to your training, and that is training your brain. If you're interested, stay tuned. Now, there's plenty of archers out there, maybe you're one of them. We put all our effort into tuning and maintaining our form, and yet a huge amount of archers agree that the psychological side of archery is a huge aspect of it. I've heard people say that the psychological side is 80, maybe even 90% of the makeup of archery. So why don't we train our brains? It's one to think about for sure. Who amongst us trains their brain? Before we go on, I should mention, I'm not here to dictate to you today. There's plenty of trainers out there and even general archers trying to help people who kind of dictate and say it has to be done this way, it has to be done that way. That's not my approach at all. If what you're doing is working, if it's not broke, don't fix it. That's my kind of approach, all right? What I'm trying to do is put a few ideas in your head and present to you what I do and what I've helped a few other archers do to help strengthen my psychological and mental approach to things. It's about keeping things real. It's about maximizing the training as I see it. Before we start talking about training, I'm going to say something. I differentiate between general shooting and training. Okay, if I'm out on a 3D course or stumping or what have you, I'm not too concerned with trying to train myself and looking at form and even the psychological side. But when I'm training, let me put it this way, if I can use a computer analogy. When I'm training, I'm trying to download the software, the right software, into the hardware, okay, and store the software in my hardware for later on when I come to use the program in the real world. Now, it sounds a bit corny maybe, but it's probably the best analogy I can use. So if you know anything about computers, there's a lot of coding into software. There's a heck of a lot that goes into it. And that's the difference between, for me at least, between the training and the shooting. The training, you can get technical, you can do the self-analysis and all the rest of it. But out in the real world, when you are just shooting naturally, you can access those programs with that software on and just get on and shoot. Right, let's take a look at this. Let's watch my willing assistant as he comes up to the shooting line or the peg or whatever it might be. Now, what I do is I split my training into 3 phases for each shot. I have a pre-shot phase, a shot phase, and a post-shot phase. Now, as soon as I get up to that shooting line or peg, I'm starting to think about the pre-shot phase. Now, in my mind, I'm going through my shot sequence, thinking about my form, what I need to work on to get it right. For me personally, the 2 big ones is getting the right back tension, getting a smooth release, and not moving the bow too early, okay, getting a good follow through. So that's what's going through my mind at this point. I'm just stood there, I'm focusing on the target, but my mind is going through exactly what I need to do. I'll try not to get too zen about all this, which is easier said than done sometimes, but I'm visualizing the shot. Okay, I can see myself doing it, and I can visualize from start to finish the whole shot sequence. Okay, so here I am, I've got a grip on the string, I'm starting to focus on the target. Around about this point, this is where I absolutely split my pre-shot from my shot phase. Okay, now I'm an instinctive archer, And as a lot of the much more capable and much more experienced instinctive archers will tell you, the idea is to shoot with an empty mind. Okay, it's to use your intuition, your muscle memory, whatever you want to call it. Let's not even go down that argumentative route, okay? But I'm trying just to look and shoot, okay? A little bit like just throwing a golf ball into a bucket or something like that. All right, so let's run the tape. And basically, all I've got in my head at this point, hopefully, is white noise, static. It's just me and the target. The bow doesn't exist, the arrow doesn't exist, okay? I've already thought through exactly what I'm going to do with my body, exactly what I'm going to do with my equipment, all right? So here we go. I'm up into anchor and release, and boom. Now, the shot sequence for me doesn't finish when I release that arrow. The shot sequence, the shot phase of this training finishes when the arrow hits the target. Okay, so the release, the follow through, boom. Up until that point, empty mind. Okay, I'm not overthinking things, I'm not compensating for anything, I'm hardly trying, because the trying, no, that's not true. You do try, but you let your subconscious, I told you this was going to get zen, you let your subconscious mind take over from your conscious mind. Okay? As soon as that arrow hits, the next phase takes over. So, I've just completed as natural a shot as possible. Okay, it shouldn't be forced, there should be no trying to hammer a square peg into a round hole. Everybody should shoot in a natural way. Okay, don't try and shoot like somebody else you've seen shoot like you shoot. That's just an aside. So the arrows hit the target. This moves me on to my third and final phase of my my training sequence. Okay, so I've had the pre-shot, I've now had the shot. Guess what? Now it's the post-shot. And this is where you can analyse things. This is where you can be self-critical. What did I do well? What do I need to work on? I snatched the release on that a little bit. Oh, perhaps I wasn't fully engaged. Perhaps my body wasn't in the right position. Perhaps I moved my bow too early. Whatever it might be. So you do a bit of self-training up here. What do I need to do on the next one? Okay, got it. Doesn't take long. You can be reaching for your next arrow as you're doing it. Okay, so just to reiterate, pre-shot, shot, post-shot. It's as simple as that. But now here's the important message, the most important of all, and this is where people fall down. They get bleed through between these phases. Okay, so they go into pre-shot and they're still thinking about things when they're going through the shot. All right, that leads to overcompensation. All right, oh, it's gone left. I'll have to go a bit right. Guess what? The arrow goes too far to the right. Okay, etc. That kind of thing. Bleed over from the shot to the post-shot's not too bad because hopefully we're shooting with empty mind. But the biggest fault people make, without question, is bleed over from the post-shot of one arrow into the pre-shot of the next. They're coming up, they're getting ready, and they're still thinking about, whoa. Are you with me? Have we all felt this, or is it just me? Because I certainly have on more than one occasion, and I battle with it constantly. You still think, too far left, or that one went in the floor, whatever it might be. You've got to finish your shot. Do your post-shot from one arrow. Once you're happy, I know what happened, separate that from the pre-shot of the next arrow. Okay? Of any message in this video, that's the most important, and that's the one that will do the most good for anybody trying to structure their training. So folks, let's sum up. In essence, what I guess I'm saying is every arrow is a clean slate. Yes, you can set up the system where your psychological approach is split down, but more than anything, don't let one shot bleed into the next. Okay, separate them. However you do it psychologically, train it. Do it every single arrow while you are training. Believe me, it will make your whole life, archery life I should say, better. Okay, what else? Don't forget that archery is meant to be fun. If things aren't going 100%, it's not life and death, folks. Okay, yes, I'm not saying enter your archery frivolously. Frivolously? Is that a word? I don't know. You can still be determined and focused and still keep it light-hearted. Okay, if you can keep a wry grin on your face, either internally or externally, and apply a little bit of humour to it, for want of a better word. You've got to learn to be able to smile at yourself even when it goes wrong. Then you're on the right track. Okay, don't start taking things too seriously. Again, that's a downward spiral. And what we want to build is upward spirals. Right, I'm going to leave it there. The subject can get so involved and so in-depth. It's really difficult to kind of put it across to a camera. This is the kind of thing that is better done one-on-one. So if I've missed bits, if things haven't been explained properly, I do apologise, but if you have any questions, put them in the comments section below. If you need any pointers, again, give me a shout. It's about getting people thinking about and about approaching their training in perhaps a slightly different way, and perhaps a slightly more effective way. It's a win-win situation. You're keeping it light, you're having fun, and you're maximising your training as well. So what's not to like? I hope that's not baffled too many brains. I'll leave it there anyway, and I'll catch you guys next time on the RHA video channel.